Hi and welcome back. We have been talking about diseases and why do we and how do we fall ill. Till now, we have discussed about what are diseases, what are the signs and symptoms of diseases. Moving on to the part 2, diseases and its causes, we will be discussing about the types of diseases, acute diseases and chronic diseases. What are the major differences between these two? All right, and we will be discussing about its causes, infectious causes, non-infectious causes, and so on and so forth. This is the part where we'll be discussing about the major causes of diseases. So let's move on to this part. This is an example of chronic diseases where this person is suffering from cancer. Okay, let's move on to the next slide to find out the differences between acute and chronic diseases. Acute diseases is a type of disease that lasts for a very short period of time, and within that short period the body is afflicted very badly, yes, but the body is also able to heal suddenly and quickly. So it may last for, say, to a maximum of 5 to 7 days. Okay, so for example, flu, influenza, your common cold, etc. When you encounter a common cold, when you have a common cold, you have symptoms. You have fever, you have body ache, you have sneezing problems. Sometimes you also have cough. All right, but after you have taken your medications, within a span of say 4 to 5 days, you start to feel healthy again. Okay, so that feeling of that well-being, it recovers. The body is able to recover very suddenly and quickly. All right. So in the case of acute diseases, the disease lasts for a very short period of time, and the recovery is suddenly and quickly. Whereas in chronic diseases, the disease lasts for a comparatively longer period of time, and sometimes some diseases may even last for a lifetime. Okay, example is tuberculosis, which is also abbreviated as TB, and cancer. So what happens? Persons, they are able to recover. People, they are able to recover from cancer, yes, but there are some people that even after they have recovered from cancer, there may be some or the other very severe bodily afflictions that they may be suffering, and that that may cause them to not lead a healthy life. Okay, so even after, there are post disease complications as well, and it is very commonly seen in the case of chronic diseases, because in chronic diseases the body is not able to heal suddenly and quickly, and the disease also lasts for a very longer span of time. Okay, so because of this longer period of time, the body is in a constant state of malaise, and even after the body has recovered, the body is still not able to carry on its metabolic activities very efficiently. Okay, so people, yes, they do recover from TB and cancer, okay, fully, completely, they do enjoy their lifespans, but there are some people who may not be able to enjoy a healthy lifestyle even after they have recovered from chronic diseases. Okay, the differences, major differences, let's look at a tabular chart. They are short duration diseases, acute diseases, chronic diseases, whereas they are long lasting diseases. In acute diseases, the patient recovers very quickly and suddenly, whereas in chronic diseases, the patient does not recover completely. This is a very conditional statement. Okay, that person may be able to recover completely, but that is conditional. Okay, because some people, even after they have recovered, they may not be able to carry on a proper healthy lifestyle, whereas some people, after they have recovered completely, they may be able to lead a healthy lifestyle. In case of acute diseases, there is no significant loss of weight or feeling of tiredness. That is, there is no significant fatigue after you have recovered. Okay, so after you have had a common cold, after you have completely recovered from that disease, you may not feel that, oh, I have lost so many weight after I was sick, while I was sick, okay, or I'm feeling very tired even though I have recovered. Whereas in the case of chronic diseases, there is often a significant loss of weight, and there is often a condition where the body is not able to carry on the very basic, the very chief fundamental necessity efficiently. Okay, so even you have recovered, say, from cancer, even though you have recovered from cancer, but your body may not be perfectly fit enough to move from one place to another, to say, to carry heavy objects. So suppose a person has cancer and that person has recovered, okay, and before cancer that person used to do heavy weightlifting in gyms in order to maintain their physical health, okay, but after they were diagnosed with cancer, and after they were recovered with cancer, that person may be strictly restricted by the doctor, by the physician, to not indulge, to not involve in any sort of weightlifting, okay. So that is indication that the body is in a constant state of fatigue, in a constant state of tiredness, and the body is not yet healthy enough to perform all those activities that the body was able to perform earlier, prior to the disease. So acute diseases, that is the short duration diseases, and the duration loss of work and efficiency. So after that short duration, the body is able to work very efficiently. Whereas in the case of chronic diseases, there is a prolonged loss of work and work efficiency. Okay, so it is basically a carry forward of the point 3, that there is a significant significant loss in the efficiency in how you used to perform your work and your other activities. Okay. Chronic diseases and poor health. As you can see over here, these are the symptoms of acute diseases. So sometimes you may, encounter shortness of breath, chest pain, nausea, which you also say vomiting, anxiety, or sometimes you also get cold sweat, a lot of sweats. Okay, and sometimes you may just encounter dizziness. Okay, so all these are very short duration symptoms. These are symptoms of acute diseases. Okay, they will afflict you for a shorter period of time, and they will afflict you a lot, yes, but after the duration has passed, after your body is able to fight against the cause, the main problem of these diseases, you will be able to heal very perfectly without any prolonged tiredness or any fatigue. So an acute disease is over very soon, thus it does not have time to cause major effects on general health. So if you're able to recover in a span of a week, in just 1 week you're able to recover very, very healthily, okay, without any larger impact on your health. That means that your overall health of your body, the overall health of your body, that is preserved, that is not under any grave danger. Okay, whereas in the chronic disease, your body is under a very grave danger. Okay, so what is this grave danger that I'm talking about? Example, during cough and cold, most of us, we get better and well within a week, that I have been talking about, without any permanent damages in health. Whereas in the case of chronic diseases such as tuberculosis of the lungs, okay, it causes illness over years and years. So you may have to take medicines for several years, but still your tuberculosis problem may not be completely recovered. Okay, and that since your body for so many years it is in a state of affliction, it is in a state of danger, all right, danger of succumbing to these tuberculosis disease. Okay, so because of this prolongation, your body, since it is not healthy, you may lose weight and you may feel tired all the time. Okay, so this is another carry forward differentiation between acute diseases and chronic diseases. We are likely to have prolonged general poor health if we have chronic diseases. All right. I hope you're getting this point clearer, that I have explained you 2-3 times, using a very simple example. Chronic diseases, therefore, they have very drastic long-term effects on people's health. And like I have been telling you, these effects, they may even last for say 3, 4, 5, 10 years. And some diseases, the effects of some diseases, they are so severe that may even carry forward to that person's whole lifetime. Okay, in this chart box over here, you can see that there are some chronic diseases such as the heart disease, cancer, lung disease, stroke, again leading to your heart, Alzheimer's disease, where the body is in a constant state of forgetfulness. Okay, diabetes, Diabetes lasts for long, for your lifetime. So people who have diabetes, they have to take precaution. They have to check a level on their glucose level in their body. Okay. Chronic kidney diseases. Kidney requires dialysis process. So there are so many cases where the disease that is afflicting certain parts of your organs in your body, and certain parts of organ systems, they are getting damaged. In those diseases, the overall effect, they may extend from a few years, okay, from a few years to a lifetime. All right. Whereas in acute diseases, there is no prolonged general poor health. That poor health, yes, there is poor health, but that poor health may be just for a maximum of 7 days. Okay. Whereas in chronic diseases, this prolonged general health, that is carried forward to from a few years to, say, a lifetime. Okay. Now let's talk about the causes of diseases. We know that there are two kinds of diseases: acute diseases and chronic diseases. But what are the factors that, what are the, say, the immediate causes that, because of which our body contracts diseases? All right. So there is an immediate cause and there is a contributory cause. So immediate cause, you can also remember this as, like I had told you to visualize things while I was teaching you the first chapter of biology, cell. Okay. So visualize this, that immediate cause is always caused by some microorganisms. Okay. There are some microorganisms that hamper with the healthy functions of our body. Okay. There are some microorganisms such as bacteria, such as virus, such as fungi, even some protozoa such as amoeba, unicellular organisms. Okay. So microorganisms such as virus, bacteria, protozoa. As you can see here, okay, bacteria could be unicellular, even multicellular. Fungi could be unicellular or multicellular. Protozoa, mostly they are unicellular. Protozoa, like there are some ciliated microorganisms. Okay, there is amoeba. All right. So all these are, imagine such microscopic level entities, right? Such microorganisms, and they have this ability to hamper so much with our physical well-being that can even lead to deaths in certain cases. All right. So these immediate causes, they enter our body and they cause diseases. And okay, these are the immediate causes. Okay. So for example, virus, bacteria, protozoa, etc., all these organisms, they are at a microscopic level. You have to remember this, you have to visualize this. You cannot see them through your naked eye. All right. You need a microscope in order to view them. So small, such a tiny creature, it's living, right? So such a tiny creature can, hamper our health so much. All right. So the immediate causes, it's always these microorganisms. Whereas contributory causes, now these microorganisms, they do not always hamper our well-being directly. There are certain factors that determine. All right. And often times these factors are the vectors. I'll be talking about this term, but first of all, let us see what this contributory causes. The secondary factors which lead these organisms to enter our body are termed as contributory cause. These secondary factors could be dirty water, contaminated food, improper nourishment, poor standard of living, etc. So there is a chance where your body can, contract certain diseases caused by these immediate microorganisms, those virus, bacteria, fungi, etc. But there is a certain medium. You can visualize this as a certain medium. Now these are so small. Okay, these are so microscopic entities, right? So they do not directly enter our body system, but they enter our body system through a certain medium. All right. That medium could be dirty water. That means those entities, those microscopic organisms could be present in dirty water, and when we drink that dirty water, we may contract diseases caused by those microscopic organisms. Okay. Or by ingesting contaminated food, that food that has been already contaminated by, say, flies, mosquitoes, or some other worms, or some other not viruses, some other bacteria. Okay, improper nourishment. If you're not taking our nutrients properly, okay, if our body is in a state of malnutrition, if you're not having proper nutrition that are essential for a healthy well-being, then that may make our body vulnerable, susceptible, okay, to attack, by an attack of these organisms. Poor standard of living. If we are not Poor standard of living includes that you are, having contaminated food, or you're having dirty water, or you're not having, ventilated air, pure air. Okay. What about vectors? Vectors are those secondary contributory causes that, act as a medium. Okay. These vectors could be mosquitoes. Okay. They could be rats. All right. They could be such as rabies. Rabies is caused by dogs. All right. So rabid dogs. Okay. Or what else? They could be flies, sand flies. So what happens is that these microorganisms, they attach themselves to other organisms such as mosquitoes, such as rats, such as dogs, such as flies. And when we are attacked, by these mosquitoes or rats or dogs or flies, either they can bite us directly, or they can contaminate our food, or they can contaminate our drinking water. All right. So all of these factors can occur, and through all these factors, those tiny microorganisms that had attached themselves towards these organisms, they may leave their body to enter our body and harm ourselves. All right, are you getting my point? So those microorganisms that we have studied in the immediate cause, they may attach themselves to vectors such as mosquitoes, rats, dogs, flies, or they may simply be present in the medium such as water, such as air, such as they may come and sit on our food. Okay. So all of these factors, these are the secondary causes. Okay, these are the contributory causes. Because of this medium, those immediate causes, they are able to enter our body. All right. Now let's talk about infectious and non-infectious causes. We have talked about immediate and the contributory causes, but there are some diseases that can be spread from person to person, whereas there are some diseases that may not spread from person to person. So infectious causes, they include agents like microbes or microorganisms as the immediate causes, which spread the disease from an infected person to a healthy person. The most common example is if suppose your friend is having a cold and you are playing with that person, you're playing with your friend. Okay. Most immediate observation is that after a few days, or even sometimes even within a day, all right, you may experience that you are also you're also observing those symptoms or those signs of cold inside your healthy body. So you did not have cold, but because you were playing with that infected person, with your friend, okay, say after a day or after a day or two, you may also start contracting the symptoms of common cold. So infectious causes include agents, microbes or microorganisms that spread disease from an infected person to a healthy person. Whereas non-infectious causes, they do not spread by contact. Okay, they do not spread by contact. So if you're coming in contact with a person, say a person who is suffering from cancer. Okay, if you come in contact with a person suffering from cancer, you would not get cancer. Okay, because cancer, it does not spread by contact, and it cannot be spread from an infected to a healthy person through air, water, etc. Okay, so those diseases that is not infectious in nature, that is not contagious in nature, there is a word for it, contagious. Infectious causes, infectious diseases, they are contagious in nature, whereas non-infectious diseases, they are not contagious in nature. So they cannot spread from an infected person to a healthy person through air and water. All right. For example, over here, This is a healthy liver and this is a diseased liver. So the cause of this diseased liver that cannot be transmitted from an infected person to a healthy person. Okay. The diseases which spread to infection by microorganisms are called infectious disease. The infectious disease, they are contagious. They may affect from an infected person to a healthy person. When a disease-causing microorganism enters our body, it causes infection. And because it causes infection, what happens after it has? You can imagine, you can visualize this like sort of a kidnapping. Okay, so what happens is that they come and they kidnap your healthy cells. They kidnap your healthy cells and then they dictate your healthy cells, to multiply themselves, to multiply their unhealthy entities. Okay, so what is happening? They are multiplying inside our body, inside a healthy body, those microorganisms, and they are growing inside our body, and because they are causing us harm. Okay, so they are multiplying, they're causing us harm, and that is how our body enters into a state of disease. Okay, so infectious disease, you have to keep in mind, they are contagious. They may spread from an infected person. They may spread from an infected person to a completely healthy person. That means a person who did not have that disease prior to meeting that infected person. For example, tuberculosis, tetanus, AIDS, etc. These they may not immediately, they may not immediately be transferred by, say, touching hands or maybe even by hugging, but by the air we breathe. If we say, if I'm having some disease and if I sneeze on you, for example, this thing you have seen in COVID-19 also. You know that COVID-19 is a communicable disease. So if I have COVID-19 and if I go and sneeze on a person, all right, then the droplets that are escaping my body, they are coming in contact with that healthy person. And when that person inhales those unhealthy droplets that I have sneezed onto that person, right? That person will also acquire this disease. Okay, so these are the different ways through which an infectious disease can be, communicated, can be transmitted. A non-infectious disease, a disease which does not spread by its name, the meaning is suggested in its name. That is, the disease which does not spread by contact. That means this disease is not contagious. This is not contagious. That does not spread by contact between infected and healthy person through air and water is called non-infectious disease. For example, cancer, genetic abnormalities, high blood pressure, even diabetes. All right. So these diseases, they do not affect a healthy person just by coming in contact, even through air and water. All right. List any 3 reasons why you would think that you are sick and ought to see a doctor. So these 3 reasons could be, for example, say fever. All right. Could be, say, you have cold. Okay, you have cold or cough. Okay, and say you have body ache, you have fatigue, you have tiredness. Okay, so if you're having these 3, this is a very general example that I'm taking of common cold. Okay, so if you're having all these 3 symptoms, you may be prompted to visit a doctor. Okay, and if only one of these symptoms were present, would you still go to the doctor? Why or why not? So if you only have fever, or if you only have cold, or if you only have body ache, okay, you may think that, oh, I have fever, I'll just take, say, a paracetamol and I'll be fine. Or if I have cold, I'll just, take this medicine, say cetirizine or Cinarest. Or if I have cough, I'll just drink this cough syrup. Or if I have body ache, then maybe I'll just, sleep well for a night. Okay, or maybe I'll, rub some ointments on my body and I'll be fine. Or I'll drink some hot milk and I'll be fine. Okay, so when you have these individual diseases, you do not tend to immediately rush to the doctor. You tend to, do some homemade remedies, or you may also, take some medicines that are very common. All right, such as paracetamol is very common. Cetrizine for cold is very common. Some over-the-table cough syrups, they are very common. Okay, so you may resort to these common methods in order to, in order to treat your body. All right, but say if you're having all these problems all together, okay, then that may be an indication that, oh, now I need to visit the doctor. I need to find out whether I'm only having common cold or whether this is COVID. Okay, the very common dilemma that people still have, whether when they have common cold and when it is not going away on its own, so they get agitated, they get anxious whether I'm having common cold or whether it is COVID that I've contracted. All right, so when you have these, you may be prompted, you may be feel that necessity to visit a doctor. In which of the following case do you think the long-term effects on your health are likely to be most unpleasant? If you get jaundice, then yes, this will have a very long-term effect on my health. All right. Why? Because jaundice affects your liver. It affects your liver. It turns your body yellowish, and there are other different symptoms that your body goes through when you have jaundice, and you are not in a healthy state of mind. You are ill, you are sick, you are bedridden, and you cannot do anything else like you used to do earlier. So if you get jaundice, yes, this is a long-term effect. It will cause long-term effect on your body. I'm sorry, it will have a long-term effect on your body, and it will be the most unpleasant. Whereas if you just get lice or if you just get acne, this can be treated, and this won't have any hazardous effect. This won't have any hazardous effect on your health. If you have lice, you will say use medicated shampoos or medicated oils, and you can get rid of your lice in a week or two. This will take time, but this will not cause this will not engender, or this will not prevent your body to perform healthy activities. You may still be able to run, you may still be able to perform all those chores that you used to do when you did not have lice. Same goes for acne. If you have acne, so yes, it does make your face look say not so attractive, but acne could be treated, right? You can visit a dermatologist and you can buy some medicated face wash or some ointments to get rid of the acne. But that acne would not cause you to say to be on your bed for the whole day. All right, that will still you will still be able to walk properly, you will still be able to work efficiently when you have lice and acne. But when you have jaundice, you are bedridden and you're not able to perform your daily tasks. Okay, that was all that you had learned in the diseases and the cause of the diseases. Moving on, the next part of the chapter, we will be learning in detail what infectious diseases are and how they affect our body. So let us find out. Infectious agents. There are some agents, there are some factors that cause these diseases, and you have very well seen this in the previous part. These agents are mostly your immediate causes. Okay, they are those microorganisms, those viruses, those bacteria, fungi, protozoa, and worms that hamper with your body system, that is hazardous to your body, and they are communicated. The diseases caused by these agents or these causes, they are communicated to you via some medium, that can even be some vectors. So viruses can cause common cold, influenza, measles, chickenpox, AIDS, hepatitis B. Bacteria can cause cholera, typhoid, TB, that is your tuberculosis, tetanus, anthrax, etc. Fungi, mostly skin infections, they are caused by fungi. Protozoa such as amoeba, ciliated microorganisms, they can cause malaria. Kala azar, that is your black fever, that affects your Black fever mostly affects your spleen. It also affects your bone marrow. Okay. Amoebic dysentery. Dysentery that is caused by a certain type of amoeba which is harmful for your body. Worms, even worms can cause you diseases such as intestinal infections and elephantiasis. And elephantiasis, your lymph system, they are affected. Okay. So infectious agents means those immediate causes that can be transferred from an infectious person to a healthy person via a medium. Okay, via a medium such as air, such as water, or such as other factors such as physical contact. Okay, so these are the agents of infectious diseases, and these are the common diseases that are caused by these agents. Okay. Means of spread. Many microbial agents can commonly move from an affected person to someone else in a variety of ways. In other words, they can be communicated. So, they are called communicable disease. That means that these viruses, they are traveling from that infected person to a healthy person, to a non-infected person. Okay, since they are traveling, since this is contagious in nature, it can be communicated it can be communicated via air, via water, via physical contact. Since it can be communicated, it can be transferred. Okay, it can be transferred, or say it can be transmitted. Okay, I'm using different terms to explain you what I mean when I say that these can be communicated. So since they can be transferred, they can be transmitted, they can be carried on from an infected person to a healthy person. Therefore, they are communicable diseases. Okay. Now, there is some means of spread of these communicable diseases caused by the infectious agents. Like I told you, those immediate causes, they enter your body via a medium. Those infectious diseases, they enter your body via some medium. What are those medium? Those medium could be air. So, those diseases that are transferred to a healthy body, they can be via air, they can be named airborne diseases. Other factor, water, transfer via water. Physical contact such as sexual diseases. Okay, then animal-borne diseases means animals acting as vectors over here. Okay, to to carry forward, to be the medium and to carry forward that immediate cause, that infectious microorganism to a healthy person. Okay, so airborne diseases are mostly common cold, influenza, measles, tuberculosis, those diseases that affect your respiratory health, or those diseases that affect your respiratory system. Waterborne diseases are cholera, typhoid, hepatitis. Sexual disease can be caused from an infected person to a healthy person via sexual contact, via oral or sexual contact. They are AIDS and syphilis. Okay, animal-borne diseases, where animals such as dogs commonly, they act as vectors for your rabies. Okay, so rabid dogs can cause rabies to a healthy human also when they bite you. Okay, so animals are acting here as vectors, and by animal we are getting rabies. Okay, so these are the means of spread, how the infectious, the communicable, the contagious disease, they are transmitted by a medium. And these means of spread, they can be air, they can be water, they can be physical contact such as sex, and they can even be spreaded via an animal. For example, you have SARS virus. SARS virus is your COVID-19 virus. Okay, then you have the trypanosoma. This is an microorganism that causes you sleeping sickness. Okay, then there may be adult roundworms that may cause you stomach ailments. Okay, then there is leishmania that causes you a disease which is known as leishmaniasis. Okay, then there is staphylococci. This is a bacteria that usually they are harmless, but when they enter your bloodstream, they may hamper with your overall healthy well-being. So these means of spread, these are the immediate spreads. These are the immediate causes all right? And how are they spreading towards you? They are spreading towards you via these means. How are they spreading towards you? They are spreading towards you also when a person is say sneezes or coughs. So that person is doing what? Is basically leading out, or it's basically exhaling droplets. Okay, so for example, this person over here, this is he or she may be sneezing or coughing. So when that person sneezes or coughs, small droplets, they evaporate to droplet nuclei in the zone. So within a certain radius, say within about 2 meters. Okay, that is why you say when you have those COVID-19 guidelines that maintain social distance, because when you are physically close to a person, then you come towards this zone where the droplets that infected person has exhaled, they can mix up in the air in the form of small droplets, aerosols. These are very small, these are micrometer small. Okay, so when you are within this radius, when you're within this 2 meter, those droplets, they can directly, you can inhale them, or they can come over your, say, your clothes or your food or your other, say your hands. Okay, they can come, and when you touch yourself near your nose, near your mouth, or near other open orifices, they may enter through those open orifices, through those open surface towards your body. So small droplets, they evaporate to the droplet nuclei in this zone, whereas the large droplets, they settle down in a few seconds. Whereas when you're standing away, when you're maintaining social distance, when you're standing away, then that you may not be able you won't be in that vulnerable radius where you may contract these droplets or these aerosols. Those droplet nuclei carried in air current for minutes to hours, they may be far, far away from you. This is why it is very imperative for you to maintain social distance when you go out, because COVID-19 is not yet over. These means of spread, they can also come from the infected person to the healthy person via direct contact, via direct contact, by air, indirect contact like your clothes, your water, by food, by when the vectors such as flies, etc., they contaminated, or when, say, that infected person is eating that food, and you are eating that same food that has been touched by the infected person, or say some vectors such as mosquito, insect. So they have this mosquito this infected person has some immediate causes, those microorganisms, and they get bitten by, say, a mosquito or an insect, and that same mosquito or same insect now goes and bites you. So basically there is the transfer of microorganism that is happening. All right, so vectors, that they may not be only the agents of carriers, they may also be the agents of the carriers of diseases from an infected person to a healthy person as well. Okay, then rabid animals. All right, so these are the various ways, be it physical, be it indirect, okay, that a healthy person may contract disease from an infected person. Now these diseases, they affect some organ and some tissue of your body. All right, that depends on the kind of microorganism it is, the kind of host body or kind of host area it likes to settle onto that body. So the disease causing microbes, they enter the body through different means, and the body is very large when compared to microbes. So once entered, there are many possible ways that particular microorganism could go. It may affect your respiratory system, it may affect your digestive system, it may affect your circulatory system. There are so many channels, there are so many areas that they may go and may hamper our living system. So different species of microbes, they seem to have evolved to home in different parts of the body. Okay, so in this process there is some selection going on. All right, so if they enter from, say, air via your nose, so they are likely to go to your lungs, or sometimes they may even hang around your your air pathway. All right, or if they are entering through the mouth, then they can also stay in the gut lining, in your digestive lining, in that gut lining. For example, the typhoid causing bacteria, they may choose to stay in the gut lining. They may not choose to go completely inside towards your other digestive organs, or they simply can go to the liver. all right, like some viruses that cause jaundice. So these viruses, they target, okay, they target specific areas, specific organs in your body, and because your body is so large, so they may choose to go anywhere they may seem like, wherever they may find that their infectious bodies are able to grow and multiply more efficiently and, you know, more profusely. Okay. In addition to these tissue specific effects, there will be other common effects too, which depend on that person's immunity, that person's immune system. This immune system, this immunity is basically that protective system of that person, that person has inbuilt, okay, inbuilt, in order to, you know, fight or in order to tackle these disease causing microorganisms. All right, so if your immunity is strong, if your immune system is strong and some disease causing microbes are entering your body, so your immune system is going to fight, it's going to tackle those microorganisms. And when your immune system is efficiently able to eliminate them, then you may not contract that disease so severely. For example, as compared to a person, say, who has very low immunity power. An active immune system, therefore, it recruits many cells, it calls out many cells to that affected tissue in order to kill those disease causing microbes. And this recruitment process is called inflammation. So oftentimes you may observe that when you have hit yourself very hard, a part of that bruised area that may be inflamed. It's basically that those underneath that inflamed skin, your body, your immune cells, they're trying to fight off those disease causing bacteria that may have gotten the chance to enter your body when your body was, say, cut or bruised, or, you know, some other injury that may have occurred. So basically the severity of disease manifestations, it depends on the number of microbes in the body. Okay, if the number of microbes is very small, the disease manifestations will be minor or unnoticed. Whereas when you have larger number of microbes that have entered into your body, then naturally the disease can be severe and even lead to a life-threatening state. Immune system is therefore a major factor that determines the number of microbes surviving in the body. So if you have a strong immunity, if you have a strong immune system, then the number of microbes in the body will be less, because most of the microbes will be dead by those immune cells and very few will be left, and you will be able to recover in a few days. But say if you have a low immune system, okay, then the number of microbes in your body will be very high. All right, so that number will be high, that naturally it's gonna harm your body. Naturally it is gonna tamper with your efficiency, your bodily efficiency, with your bodily health. And when that is going to happen, you may recover very slowly, and in extreme cases it may even lead to some life-threatening stage. So the number of microbes surviving in the body, that is very important, and that determines on your immune system. Okay, so in this part we learned about infectious diseases, how are they spreaded, what are their causes, and also how our immunity cells are able to tackle these infectious diseases. In the coming parts of the chapter, we will be learning more about these infectious diseases, and we will also be learning a little about the non-infectious parts.